Last week in Youngstown, North Dakota State marched all over the Penguins, cruising to a lopsided victory and a perfect 9-0 record. Now it's time for the stretch run, with the Bison returning to their home turf, looking to keep things rolling against Western Illinois. It's the Harvest Bowl, and it's coming up next.
Get your horns up!
Tailgating in the parking lot. Now that clock is ticking down. The boys are ready to go. The energy in here's electric. Let's get on with the show. Get your horns up. Green and gold are back in town. Get your horns up. Pumped up and ready to throw down. Toss that coin up in the air. Bring the boys up to the line. Hold your horns up high because it's Bison time.
Welcome to Gate City Bank Field at the Fargo Dome. North Dakota State, #1 in the nation, hosting Western Illinois here in the Harvest Bowl. Brian, Sean, Lee Timmerman with you. Ryan Geller will join us from the sidelines as North Dakota State looks to keep things rolling, averaging 39 points a game, 30-game winning streak on the line, just 3 behind the all-time FCS record that is also held by NDSU from 2012 to 2014. Western Illinois has won the toss and they have elected to receive.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. Most teams will defer, but Western knows that it needs to come out in this game early to play well, and to score points, you have to have that ball.
Garrett Wegner will do the honors to get us started. Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planting season with Peterson Farm Seed. Ball taken inside the 10. Not a lot of room to maneuver for Justin Hall, and he is cut down at the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the North Dakota State defense, sponsored by Shields.
Logan McCormick, Kimberly, Wisconsin.
Cole Karch, Germantown, Wisconsin.
Jack Darnell, Champlin, Minnesota.
Derek Teska, Warner, South Dakota.
Aaron Mercadale, Oakland, California.
Jackson Hankey, Park River, North Dakota.
Jabril Cox, Kansas City, Missouri.
Marquise Bridges, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Michael Tuxi, Indianapolis, Indiana.
James Hendricks, Bemidji, Minnesota.
Josh Hayes, Lakeland, Florida.
And quickly flipped out into the flat for Clint Ratkovich, who was listed as a fullback, LT, but this guy's like a wide receiver, running back hybrid.
Well, that first play is what Western really wants to do. Get the ball in the flat as quick as possible and maybe gain some yards that way. Well done on play 1.
Setting up a screen and read by North Dakota State this time. Cole Karch finishing him off after Ratkovich was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Connor Sampson is the junior quarterback, averaging nearly 20 completions per game.
Leathernecks going quick.
First running play of the day, and pretty decent room that time for Max Norris, and he's only played in just a handful of games, just the 3rd game, and we were told maybe this week this would be an opportunity for him to come back. He's been banged up most of the season.
He really has been beat up a lot this year. Good to see him back. He's one of the names we remember from last year on this team.
Sampson, plenty of time across the middle, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jackson Hankey, and he brings it back inside Leatherneck territory, down to the 49-yard line.
That's interception number 6 for Sampson on the year, and Nodak Insurance Company replay. 52 right in the middle there, D drop. Now this is your typical base Tampa 2. 2 deep safety, linebacker drops deep. And so the quarterback is not accounting for Hankey to be that deep in pass coverage, a deep middle third. And Jackson Hankey with his interception, and I believe the first of his career.
Hankey, the second leading tackler, does have 1 sack, but a guy that was able to, as you mentioned, LT, get very deep in his drop. Trey Lance quickly slings it out to Christian Watson, and he hits the burners down the sideline, and a good gain all the way down to the 33-yard line, a gain of 17. Let's take a look at the North Dakota State offense, also sponsored by Shields.
Trey Lance, Marshall, Minnesota.
Dylan Radens, Becker, Minnesota.
Nash Jensen, Osceola, Minnesota.
Carson Shooting, Raleigh, North Dakota.
Zach Johnson, Spring Lake Park, Minnesota.
Cordell Volson, Belfort, North Dakota. Ben Ellefson, Holly, Minnesota.
Jimmy Kapora, Chicago, Illinois.
Adam Cofield, Lee Summit, Missouri.
Christian Watson, Tampa, Florida.
Phoenix Sproles, New Hope, Minnesota.
And flags out.
Offside.
Encroachment.
Defense, number 96, with contact. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Shabar Wilson, earlier this week, they didn't know if he was a kid that was going to be able to play or not. He's been a little bit banged up, but he is in there playing the nose.
And traditionally, this Western front is a 3-4. We'll show some 4 under and 4 over look. Adam Cofield was the play action man, and it was complete out to Kapuris. And Jimmy Kapuris continues to get more and more involved in this offense as the season goes along, down to the 21 at a gain of 12.
It's because of his understanding of the offense, not his playmaking ability. There, he's in the right place at the right spot for Trey Lance to hit him.
There's a look at the numbers for Trey Lance, sponsored by the North Dakota Beef Commission, funded by beef farmers and ranchers.
Impressive.
27 touchdowns total, and the completion percentage, 69%. First running play of the day, and Western Illinois stacking things up. And Tom Rayfeld right there in the middle along with Glisson to take him down for no gain. Ty Brooks the tailback, with Lance continuing to operate out of the shotgun. And Brooks has room to the outside. Brooks inside the 10, pushing a man down to the goal line. Did he get in? No, marking him out at the 1. Good strong finish to that run for Ty Brooks, the senior out of Fargo.
Josh Babbage does a fantastic job on your Nodak Insurance Company replay, blocking on the edge. 81 right there. Seal that off. Give give the running back an opportunity to get in there. He tried to squeeze in. Maybe he got closer than we first thought, Brian. Look again on this Nodak Insurance Company replay. When does he go out?
We're hard to tell.
Pretty close, but out at the 1.
Yard pickup for Lance, and it's a North Dakota State touchdown as Adam Cofield is in for another, his 9th of the season. North Dakota State wanted to get off to a fast start, and they certainly did that here today.
Turn an interception into 6 points on that touchdown run right there by Cofield, as Brian mentioned, his 9th, but just flattened the offensive line on the left side. NDSU so much more physical.
Griffin Crosa continues his tremendous season, has yet to miss a point after, and North Dakota State leads 7-0 on the Ag Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard as Adam Cofield darts in from a yard out. Bobcat scoring a recap, 5 plays, 50 yards, as Adam Cofield is able to get in from a yard out.
Yeah, it was pretty classic, too. The offensive line slams down Lupke with a good lead block, and Babbage had another nice seal on the left side, too. So Josh Babbage with 2 nice blocks leading to that touchdown.
Tyler Roll telling us this week that that kid is playing really well all the way around right now. Peterson Farm Seed kickoff, taken for a touchback by Justin Hall. Western Illinois offensive unit had a good week last week against Illinois State, against South Dakota, scoring 38 points, and Connor Sampson was the Missouri Valley Offensive Player of the Week. 368 yards, 3 touchdowns. against USD, but that group up front has struggled a little bit.
They have, and the odd part about that is if you take a look at this offense, only 2 positions all year have started in the same spot, and that's the offensive tackle on the left side and the center. Other than that, no one else has started every game offensively for Western.
Room up the middle, and boy, good tough running again for Norris, and a gain of close to 9 yards up to the 34-yard line. And there's a look at Sampson, as we talked about. Initially wanted to play baseball at Eastern Michigan. Scholarship fell through, ended up playing football at Western Illinois, and his first season as a starter has done a pretty good job. Here completing one out to Dennis Houston, 6'2" junior that's bounced around a little bit, started at Houston Baptist, then to Fullerton College, and now here at Western Illinois.
Very nice toss right on time that time, coming out of the hands of Sampson. Houston has the longest play of the year, a 65-yard touchdown reception for this Leatherneck offense.
This group likes to go quickly. And David Braun, defensive coordinator from North Dakota State, telling us that was a concern. They will snap the ball with 25, 26, 27, 28 seconds on the play clock. Even on 3rd and long, they will go quickly all the time.
And there's 30 on the play clock right now, and Western is not waiting around.
Sampson on target to Tony Tate, and then Josh Hayes taking him down immediately. After a gain of about 4, will bring up 3rd and 4 from the 45.
Interesting so far that all the passes today have been on the outside. A flat pass, a couple downfield. Coming into this game, most of the success that Western has had through the air has been in the middle with some crossing routes and some slants, especially last week against the Coyotes.
Sampson play action again, well protected. And this is complete again. Marquise Bridges had Tate, and now he has some help as Tuska gets in there. And that's a loss of 1 back to the 46. Will bring up 4th down.
Well, he didn't make the initial tackle, but he certainly slowed down any momentum that Tate, the receiver, had. Actually went back about 3 or 4 yards and allowed Tuska and I think Mercadal to come out there and help make the tackle.
Western Illinois leaves the offense on the field. Sampson under pressure, and he is buried. Back at the 46-yard line, Spencer Wagee, the sophomore out of Watertown.
I think Tuska might have been the first one there. The 2 defensive ends decided, hey, let's just meet at the quarterback, and they certainly did. Your Nodak Insurance Company replay, Wagee this side, or no, Wagee that side, and Tuska on the other side. You're right, Brian, it was 99 from the high side. Hello. So they'll get a half sack for that one. And speaking of sacks, number 91 has been in on a bunch of them, 4th best in the FCS coming into today.
24.5 career sacks for Derek Tuska. Moving up the all-time chart, 7th in NDSU history coming into this game, and now North Dakota State a short field again. Lance will roll out, fire on the run, and a nice strong throw to Christian Watson, and a flag comes in right around midfield, I believe.
Yeah, there was a flag that came from the linesman on the high side. Usually a blocking infraction. Appears to be a hold.
Holding. Offense, number 67. It's a 10-yard penalty. Remains. First down.
We'll go on Cordell Volson, your official today, by the way. Aaron Adams is in the white hat.
You see a chunk of jersey there from Cordell working on the defensive end. This Bison offensive line has been fantastic this year. Just super. I mean, Nash Jensen so far is the only one that hasn't gotten an Offensive Lineman of the Week award.
It's pretty good. Stretch play to Kobe Johnson, had a couple of explosive plays a week ago. Puts on the brakes and now trying to outrun a man, but it's Eric Carrera tripping him up after a gain of 6 yards to the 49. The Western Illinois defensive unit giving up about 34 points a game, but they've been left out there for a lot of time this season. We talked about Carrera, Zach Glisson, the leading tackler on this squad.
The Bison like what they see in London, number 44. They feel on the edge that he's one of the better players.
Three receivers in the formation. Lance to throw, 3-man rush. He's going to go deep. Watson has a step. He's got it at the 10-yard line. beat Marquis Smith, and another explosive play in the passing game.
Well, it was a double move as well. He slowed down thinking Smith was going to bite on an out, and then he takes it up. I tell you, Trey Lance's long balls have been a thing of beauty. Look at how he drops that thing right in there. Watson is able just to corral it, get both hands on it, catches it up by the shoulders. NDSU in business.
Dimitri Williams cutting it back up inside. Williams to the 5. He is into the end zone. Touchdown.
Well, it's pretty darn obvious that what happened against Missouri State is not happening here today. This offense has come out, and the defense for that matter as well, as we see Williams picking up his touchdown run, his 4th of the year. But they meaning the Bison were a little sluggish in the game. The starters know it's their job to give the 2s and the 3s an opportunity to play in the second half. And if they keep this up, they might be in there before the second half.
Here we go again. James Hendricks had the ball snapped over his head. And now he's in trouble. That didn't work. And it'll remain 13-0 on the Ag Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. 7:48 to go here in the first quarter from the Fargo Dome as Dimitri Williams has a touchdown from 10 yards out. Dimitri Williams had 2 touchdown runs against Youngstown State, has one here today as well. 3 plays, 46 yards and 135 on the Bobcats scoring recap.
That came following the 4th down and the sack on 4th down where Western was going for it.
Justin Hall, the Northern Illinois transfer, is back once again. Peterson Farm Seed kickoff your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed at Western Illinois. Will start this drive at its own 25-yard line. Gate City Bank is proud to support the NDSU Bison. Show your Bison pride today with a free NDSU Gate City Bank debit card. Visit gatecity.bank/mycard. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC.
Well, Jared Elliott's team is missing a home run hitter. I mean, in recent years, when you've watched this Western team, they've had the McShanes, they had the McGuires. On defense, they had Saunders. They've had
Jalen Acklin,
those type of players. They're not on the team right now.
Tony Tate on the jet sweep, tracked down by James Hendricks, and then finished off by Jackson Hankey after a gain of 2 up to the 27. Elliott, in his 2nd season as a head coach, was the assistant head coach and offensive coordinator under Charlie Fisher before he left to go to Arizona State and join Herm Edwards' staff. Not a lot of room up the middle this time. Carry from Deontez Thompson, senior. And he's been in and out of the lineup too with some injuries. They played a lot of different guys. Deshaun Gavin, Jordan Shipper's has also been in there. Norris.
Yeah, but he and Norris, I didn't know if they'd even be able to play today.
Sampson firing, and he's got an open man. It's Matt Clark. And he is able to get inside Bison territory down to the 49. And Western Illinois able to pick up a much-needed first down.
8th catch of the year for Clark. And those were the type of plays that against the Coyotes they were really successful on, those crossing routes. That went about 10 yards deeper, actually, than what worked against the Coyotes, but you need that time.
Thompson again, Derek Tuska, first man there, coming all the way from the weak side. No gain on that carry.
He was going up against Brian Woodard, the right tackle, and he absolutely blew past him so fast it looked like Woodard was the old foot in concrete situation. Tuska turns the corner, dips the shoulder, runs it down from behind.
Delayed handoff.
They did it again.
Oh,
not fair. It is not fair. Tuska is so much better than the right tackle he's facing right now.
Max Norris, no chance, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
And it's not fancy. It's speed rush stuff. These 2 guys, Tuska and the tackle. Well, that one's a little bit too quick, Derek, but I don't know if Woodard came out of his stance early or not.
Woodard transferred from Moore Park College, a junior.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
So that penalty is a direct result of the two previous plays where he got torched.
If you're Western Illinois, you might have to give him some help here today. You can't leave him out there on an island.
Yeah, you saw him flinch, right knee buckled. But also with one back too, it's a little bit harder to get a chip on the defensive end as well. Now there's a tight end on that side and a timeout.
Well, this drive started off promising on the third down conversion. Now Western Illinois really backed up with a 3rd and 20. Let's step aside for a message from Tobolt Seed.
Tobolt Seed, family owned and operated for over 90 years. How do you stay in business that long? Hard work and integrity. Tobolt Seed offers Thunder Seed Enlist soybeans, Roundup Ready to Extend soybeans, Liberty Link GT27 soybeans, and Thunder Seed corn.
Western Illinois picking up a come-from-behind victory at home, first win of the season. And just to tell you how long it's been, 364 days between wins for the Leathernecks. So that one had to feel good after what has been a really difficult start to the season. It's not like the Leathernecks haven't been in games. They've had their chances, just not been able to finish.
But that finish did last week. I was talking with an individual from Western. He said it was just for the team, it was mentally refreshing to have that victory.
3rd and 20. Bison rush 4, Sampson hanging in there, firing high. And that was a dangerous throw across the middle as Hankey was looking for his 2nd of the day, and a flag did come out back at the 34.
We also saw Jabril Cox play defensive end for the first time in this game today. He'll make it 4th down.
Looks like it's a hold.
Holding. Offense. Penalties decline. Result of play. 4th down.
North Dakota State able to get off the field after a couple of miscues there from Western Illinois. There's a look at Austin Hopp, sophomore out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. Had a brother, Ryan, that won a D3 title at Illinois Wesleyan. Look at Jared Elliott.
Well, Hopp is one of the 2 guys that I mentioned earlier that have started at least every game. He in the center, Kyle Samph.
Adam Fellner, junior out of Ozark, Missouri, on for his first punt. It's a good one. Trevor Height's going to let it bounce at the 5 and into the end zone. 59 yards on the boot, but only 39 on the net.
Timeout on the field.
We step aside. 13-0 North Dakota State. 5:27 to go in the first quarter. Let's take a look at the Gate City Bank Fan Cam. Send your home or watch party pics to fancamyourcam.com and we will show those in the 4th quarter. North Dakota State's 3rd possession, leading 13-0, and a little hesitation there for Ty Brooks. Mike Vitti smacks him at about the 25-yard line. Brooks falls ahead to the 26 for a gain of 6.
During that commercial in-house, we had a really nice hand, and all the veterans here stood up and were recognized for their service. So thanks once again. And yeah, Ty being really patient, I think, in the hole, waiting for something to open up with just a little bit of a cutback angle.
Lance play action. Brooks left open in the flat, puts on the brakes. He's able to spin ahead to the 33-yard line and enough for a first down. Listen out there to make the tackle for Western Illinois, and Marquis Smith gets up hobbling. Let's go to Ryan Gellner with our first International Bank and Trust sideline report. Ryan.
Hi guys, and speaking about those veterans, the North Dakota State University coaching staff and other staff have on Operation Hat Trick sweatshirts and Operation Hat Trick hats. That Operation Hat Trick generates awareness and support for the recovery of wounded service members and veterans throughout the sale of the Operation Hat Trick branded merchandise and products. Those products are available both at the NDSU bookstore and throughout North Dakota at certain retailers. You can find those sweatshirts and those hats. All of the proceeds go back to the Operation Hat Trick organization. through the organizations that fulfill that Operation Hat Trick mission. A very nice effort for the North Dakota State University coaches. They do it every year, and it's pretty cool, guys, that someone can go and buy that merchandise that the coaches wear on the sideline, and it goes back and it supports our military and the veterans.
All right, thanks so much, Ryan. And yeah, it is a nice touch, and I like them. They're sharp. And that does not look good for Marquis Smith, who is a transfer from Cincinnati. He does have 12 breakups, but teams have really gone after him a lot this season.
It's a good news, bad news situation for him. He's 7th in the FCS in passes defended, 1st in the Valley. So that means you've been in on a lot of plays, but there's a reason you're in on a lot of plays, because you're right, Brian. Teams have picked on him and picked on him fairly hard.
Now, he was heavily recruited. He was considered the 2nd best corner in the state of Michigan, and things did just not pan out. Cincinnati was mainly a special teamer there. And that's how he ended up here at Western Illinois. 1st and 10 for the Bison. Hitting going on. Gain of just a couple for Adam Cofield before he's taken down.
Well, first down efficiency in our coordinator conversation. How many times do you think T. Roll mentioned we need to be efficient on first down? It was a point of emphasis, and being efficient means you want 2nd or 6 yards or less. So this would go as not being an efficient first down run.
Lance quickly, open man again is Watson. Plenty of room as Western Illinois playing pretty soft there in the edge. And Watson able to get a first down across the 45 to the 46.
But with the injury to Smith, it looked like Royer went out there to play corner. Nodak Insurance Company replay, and Bison will want this a lot. Some one-on-one opportunities on the outside. When you're playing soft coverage, you're going to get that. So far, we've seen Watson have a couple of them, but also I think Sproles, before the first half, will get an opportunity as well. I mean, here's what we're talking about, soft coverage. Look at how much ground on the outside before the ball is even snapped that NDSU has to work with if they want to throw the ball.
3 catches, 70 yards for Christian Watson here in the first quarter. Delayed handoff. Kobe Johnson spinning away. Eric Herrera corrals him at the 45-yard line, but that is a gain of 8 on first down.
I know it's not last week, but how can we see him carry the ball and not talk about what he did last week? I mean, he had 2 of the longest plays of the year for the Bison. 1 running the ball and 1 on the kick return.
And that's just it. Youngstown scored to make it a 35-7 game. North Dakota State still have the game in hand. And then right away, a 94-yard kickoff return, and before you know it, you blink and it's 42-7.
His touchdown run was of 75 yards.
Herrera flying in again off the edge. No gain there. It'll bring up 3rd and 2. Johnson again on the carry.
Also, T. Rule talked about too with the number of tailbacks he has to work with. Instead of just shuffling a guy in and out every play, he said when he ran the ball, he liked to get it 2 or 3 times in a row. There, he gave Johnson 2 opportunities in a row, I should say, before making the substitution.
Cofield hit at the line of scrimmage. He tries to fight to the 43, and where they're marking him right now should be enough.
The spot of first contact, it certainly wasn't enough, but Cofield so good at finishing the run. And there he picks up a first down.
Tom Rayfeld came flying in there to lay the wood on him. But as we have seen, Cofield has been the short yardage guy here consistently throughout this season.
Well, it was a short yardage situation down in Brookings that turned into a 71-yarder. That was certainly the play that everyone's going to be talking about for years.
Now on the jet, Johnson going nowhere. Boy, Western Illinois, nice job of stringing that one out. And Rayfeld, again, a tackle for loss of 2. Buying, building, or refinancing. Start with a free immediate pre-approval from Gate City Bank and experience a better home loan. Get started today at gatecity.bank for a better way of life. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Rayfeld, who made that tackle as Johnson's limping a little bit. But Rayfeld, one of the captains for this Leatherneck team.
Is already a registered nurse that graduated with that degree. Lance to throw. He'll run away and now see what he can get. Lance hit it about the 36-yard line. Gain of 9 yards. Coming in to make the stop was Andre Whitley, sophomore out of St. Louis.
Nodak Insurance Company replay, trying to stay patient, but then here comes the pressure up the middle. And then Lance makes it, well, I thought it was third and a little less than this, but it's going to be about 4 yards. Wilson with some nice pressure off his nose guard position.
Play action. Lance on the comeback. Sproles goes up and makes the catch. Coverage on the play from Zaire Williams, a redshirt freshman, and that'll move the chains again.
Little isolation, see what he does. Works back to the ball.
Nice catch there for Phoenix Sproles. First reception of the day.
That's the end of the first quarter.
North Dakota State will have it 1st and 10 at the 27. It's been all Bison here in the first quarter. 13-0 NDSU after 1. Well, North Dakota State has scored more points in the first quarter than they have allowed all season. Now,
106 to 105.
Yeah, what it was coming in. And now North Dakota State has added 13 to that total, and it's 119 to 105.
Well, just to keep going with that point, coming into this game, the Bison scored 85 more points in the first, 62 more points than their opponents in the second, 45 more points in the third, and 56 more points in the fourth quarter.
That's pretty good.
I wonder why they're second in the country in scoring.
Averaging 288 rushing yards a game coming into this contest as well. 2nd and 9. Stretch play again. Blockers in front. And Cofield able to keep his feet there for a moment, but he is upended by Williams after a gain of maybe 4 yards.
I think it was Nudif right there, number 40, who fell down, rolled over, got back up, and then got a hand on a knee or an ankle, because that play looked like it was going to gain more yards than it did.
Three receivers bunch there to the high side of your screen. Sproles, Kapuris, and Christian Watson. Lance gonna take off and run. Boy, that's what makes this guy so dangerous. Inside the 5, touchdown. "23 yards on the scamper. 9th rushing touchdown of the season for Trey Lance.
Well, we talked about all the tailbacks they have with Cofield, Brooks, and Williams, and Johnson, and who's the leading rusher on the team? This guy right here, number 5, with so much speed to be able to slide back up in that little bit of an opening. He adds 6 more.
Rosa adds the extra points, and it is 20-0. North Dakota State, 13:33 to go until halftime. The Bison rolling 181 yards on offense so far here in the first half. Bobcat scoring recap, 13 plays, 80 yards, a couple of third down conversions, including Trey Lance's 23-yard dash to the end zone. Lance 31 rushing yards, 94 passing yards, and a perfect 6 of 6.
But again, it was not a designed quarterback run. It was improvising off some decent pass coverage, and he turns it into a touchdown.
Peterson farm seed, kick off your planning season with Peterson farm seed. This bounces down to the 20-yard line. The up man was able to take it and slide down to the 30-yard line. That was Nick Diambra. Let's go to Ryan Geller.
Hey guys, a First International Bank and Trust sideline report. Kobe Johnson tweaked his ankle. He is right now visiting with team doctors and trying to give it a go on the sideline. His return right now is questionable. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Ryan.
That was a good look at the finish of that play on the jet sweep where he did hurt that ankle.
Sampson dropping it off, not much room to maneuver. As Max Norris makes the catch. James Hendricks, Jabril Cox closing in for a gain of 1. Ooh, there was a big hit off the edge there.
There's a whole bunch of people not ready for that snap on both sides of the ball.
False start. Offense. All 11 players did not get stepped prior to the snap with a 5-yard penalty. Remains second out.
Sorry to laugh, but all of them. I thought that was a good way to put it. I mean, Lane Tucker had his back almost turned to the offense. That's how much he was not ready for the snap. But when the offense isn't, you don't have to be as a defensive player.
Sampson got behind center and now maybe changing some things up here before snapping the football. He's going to air it out deep. Destin Talbot right in on the coverage. Jared Drake, transfer from Ohio State, was the intended target. Also kind of a hybrid fullback, tailback, wide receiver, tight end.
Yeah, Talbot had really nice position right there. Stayed on the hip, the inside hip. Not really much of a chance for that ball to be completed.
Drake, one of 7 players on this roster already in master's programs, and he's working his master's in law enforcement. Sampson's going to air it out again for George Wahi, and that ball was nearly intercepted. There were 2 Bison players, Marquise Bridges and James Hendricks, closing as that ball hung up in the air for a long time.
Well, Wahi and Bridges, they basically changed roles on this play because it looks like Bridges is going to be the offensive guy to make the reception, and Wahi playing defense to rip it away from the corner.
There's been a handful of times that I think Hendricks and Bridges have
been so close.
Yeah, and they've almost hurt each other from getting some interceptions. I think that James almost knocked it loose from Marquise. Looked like he had it in his hands. Fellner, and a nice high deep punt. Trevor Height retreats to his own 29. And Height eludes a few men, and now Height still on his feet. Across midfield, down to the 40-yard line. Leaves the Missouri Valley in punt returns.
10th in the country.
Let's take a look now at the Gate City Bank fan cam. Send your Homer Watch party pics to fancamyourcam.com, and we'll show those in the 4th quarter.
I mean, this deep into the season, Height's still coming into this game averaging over 13 yards of punt return. I mean, it's hard to get over 5 yards sometimes on a punt return.
That one about 27 maybe. Depending on where they marked where he caught the ball. Got it up to the 45 of Western Illinois. Lance rolling out, dumping it off. Hunter Lukey left alone in the flat. Lukey scampers ahead to the 31-yard line. Good blocking downfield by Kapuris, and that'll be another North Dakota State first down.
On the reception, that's another Bison!
Hunter's so much more than, I guess, a third guard, if you will, and how fullbacks sometimes are in this NDSU offense. He's catching the ball. We've seen him run the ball this year as well. He's just a prolific rusher back in Spencer, Wisconsin in his high school days. There he picks up the first down on that Nodak Insurance Company replay.
Brooks taken down from behind as Western Illinois crashes down. That's Rayfelt in on another stop after a gain of 3. We talked about Lukey, and his role the last couple of weeks has been really important. Garrett Malmstrom still trying to make his way back from a knee injury. Is still not ready to go, so Lukey has been getting a majority of the snaps at fullback.
Vast majority of those snaps. I know Austin Avery's taken some snaps as well from, or the Bison have used a tight end to kind of go back in there, that fullback, but Lukey's really carrying the load at the fullback position. A very important position for the Bison as well on offense.
Johnson back into the game. This thing strung out again. Boy, good pursuit again from the backside. Malik Burns, the sophomore, that as a transfer from Temple, was able to bring Johnson down for a loss of a couple. That'll bring up 3rd and long from the 31.
I was looking about 15, 17 yards beyond where the ball was, and watching Dylan Radens just plow one of the linebackers right into the turf at the hash mark inside the 20.
Lance has still not thrown an incompletion. 7 of 7 for 109 yards here in the first half. Lance, boy, he's got all day back there.
Now he's got somebody.
Wide open man is Kapuris. Was able to work his way back to the middle of the field to the 15-yard line, and North Dakota State converts again. The Bison 4 of 4 on third down.
I was watching the wide receiver bunch on the right side, Nodak Insurance Company replay. Now watch Kapuris. He's not open. He sees his quarterback's in trouble. Now he'll sit down. Just finds a soft spot in the zone, sets there. His quarterback catches his eye. They make the completion, and NDSU has another first down.
I don't know if there was a clock on Trey Lance. It was probably around 6 or 7 seconds before he even really had to move.
That's a nice replay, guys.
Stretch play to the outside, and Western all over it again. Loss of a couple. Cofield another carry, his 6th of the afternoon. And Malik Burns in on another stop. He's got 2 tackles for loss on this drive.
It's been a really effective play throughout the year for NDSU.
Dimitri Williams is checked in at tailback. Play action. Dumped off. Lukey makes his 2nd reception, and he's inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Experience a better home loan with Gate City Bank. Whether you're buying, building, or refinancing, Gate City Bank provides locally approved, financed, and serviced home loans. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Brings up 3rd and 4 for the Bison.
Josh Babich is split out now in the slot on the high side of your screen. Lance to the back of the end zone, and it was almost brought in by Noah Gindorf with one hand, but it's incomplete, and here comes the field goal unit.
At the first incompletion.
It is.
Well, Babich, the touchdown machine, 6 catches, 5 touchdowns, but he could only get the one hand, the backhand up high enough. Oh, I'm sorry, Gindorf. I said Babich, but those were Gindorf's numbers.
All the tight ends we've seen have been pretty interchangeable. Oh, yeah, that didn't work. Griffin Krosa probably does the best thing and just throws it away. Or Wegner, excuse me, throws it away. It did not go well.
There's going to be it'll be flag for no receiver out there. If it'll be grounding, declined obviously by Western.
Intentional grounding, offense. That's a spot of the foul, loss of down, 1st and 10.
So no more points for North Dakota State, and Western will take over at the 17-yard line.
Timeout.
8:30 to go until halftime. The Bison with a comfortable lead. .30 to go until halftime. 20-0 North Dakota State. Western Illinois taking over on downs at their own 18-yard line. Tony Tate with the carry, and he's able to gain 8 yards across the 25-yard line.
That jet motion is certainly a very popular play that Western uses a lot. Now bunch to the low side.
Wagee coming in again, and he's got another sack. Back to the 21-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
What a big day already for the defensive ends. We saw Tuska in that first quarter own one side of it. Wagee's been in on a quarterback a couple of times as well. Spencer coming into here with 3.5 sacks. Sampson just simply, if he does not get rid of it, 1, 2, 3 out, it's going to be a tough time for him to get the ball on target.
Bison bringing extra pressure. Sampson downfield for Wahi. Or was it Tate? Ball wasn't really close to anybody. Bring up 4th down.
Landed right between the two.
Let's go down to Ryan Gellner on the sidelines.
Hey guys, another First International Bank and Trust sideline report. Couple of scores from across the Missouri Valley Football Conference. South Dakota up on Youngstown 28-14 just before half there. Speaking of half, South Dakota State leads Illinois State 11-10. Southern is up on Missouri State 27-0. Indiana State, Northern Iowa yet to come. Guys, we'll update those scores at the half.
Thanks so much, Ryan. And that Illinois State South Dakota State game, certainly one of interest. Fellner's punt will bounce down to the 32, and there is a flag back at the 45. So let's see what that's all about.
It came out in a really odd time in that play too, so it's going to be something against NDSU. It wasn't really on the gunner, it was on the secondary people coming down to hold.
During the kick, holding return team number 34. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st and 10. Timeout on the field.
That will bring back North Dakota State to the 22-yard line. When we come back, 7:11 to go until halftime. Bison with the football, leading by 20. First and 10 for North Dakota State from its own 22-yard line. Dimitri Williams with the carry right up the gut, ran over a man, and finally wrestled. Well, he's still moving. Pyle pushes ahead across the 30 to the 34, and that'll be enough for a first down on a gain of 12.
Wasn't that long ago when that was a penalty, when you couldn't do that, but now certainly you can. You can help. As long as the pile's moving, you can keep the ball carrier going and help him along. And there you see Schoenig, and you also saw Gindorf in there helping to push. Here comes Cordell Volson to give him the last 2 yards.
Boy, Nutoff was holding on to him, trying to bring him down for about 5 seconds before finally able to get him down with some help from Joe Turk. Play action. Lance again on the comeback, and that is caught by Sproles. Gain of 6 up to the 40. We pause now for a quick message from Shields.
We live in a very divisive time, and eventually we're going to have to come together. And I think that flag will be one of the things that helps us come together.
Again, real nice first down efficiency from the Bison.
Bootleg for Lance, dumping it off, and it is caught right at the 40-yard line for no gain by Josh Babbage. Good coverage on the play there from Jalen Poe.
Not just him, because that's where the ball went, but the second level and third level of that route tree was all covered up very nicely. That's one of the best defensive plays of the day, I think, for Western.
Savion Clark in the game at tailback here on 3rd and 4. Give to Kobe Johnson. Boy, looks fine there with the ankle. And a flag comes out back at the 38, and they may get one of the Bison blockers on the edge there for holding, and Johnson is still limping.
They're going to get 82. Ben Elfson is what I believe the play is going to be.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
Now, they didn't say 82, but that's, sorry, Ben, I think that's what I saw in the play. Kobe's not right, is he? He's favoring that ankle.
With the penalty, makes it 3rd and 14 for the Bird at the 30-yard line.
So it would have been a first down run for Johnson. Now is a 3rd and 14 from the 30. 5 minutes to go here until halftime.
Remember, the Bison had some issues with penalties, cleaned it up last week, only had one.
Setting up the screen, Cofield has a long way to go, and LaCale London was able to track him down from behind and had some help. Picks up about 7 yards, but well short of a first down. Will bring up a punting situation. Blankenship, I think, was the other guy that got in there to finish him off.
Number 41, Hatley will Smith. Number 38, Gary Baker, North State. Number 16, Justin Hall is in receiver for the Leathernecks.
High snap. Wegner gets it away. Boy, there were Leathernecks coming in. So hung up nice and high, and a fair catch is made right around the 28-yard line by Justin Hall. That's where Western Illinois will have it. Gate City Bank is proud to support the NDSU Bison. Show your Bison pride today with a free NDSU Gate City Bank debit card. Visit gatecity.bank/mycard. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC. Western Illinois just 65 yards of total offense here in the first half, and only 14 rushing yards so far for the Leathernecks. Counter look this time, and a good strong run from Max Norris. He gains 11 yards to the 39.
Almost doubled him up there on that one run.
He did play against Missouri State, but again, has been banged up. Must have 9 career rushing touchdowns. And on the sweep, Tony Tate run out of bounds by Josh Hayes. And that'll be enough for another first down, gain of 13 to the Bison 48-yard line.
First down for the Leathernecks.
Was that jet sweep type of motion once again? It does test the eyes of the defensive players.
Jackson Brown and an outside linebacker. Bison defense stacking things up here on this run. Maybe a yard for Norris to the 46.
Logan McCormick, backside tight end, runs that play down. He was in on it.
Jake Cava as well, getting more reps as the season goes along. Was a linebacker, and that was kind of converted here late in fall camp. Bison dragging Norris back after a gain of 4. Will bring up 3rd and 5 at the 42.
Well, the Bison really want to get reps off of a number of guys that they have out there defensively. I mean, coming into this game, Jabril Cox has been in on 626 plays. That's more than anyone else. Jackson Henke, 580 plays.
Sampson hanging in there, firing low. Did Matt Clark go down and make the catch? No. He did not.
But when you're thinking big picture, which the Bison obviously do, they're put themselves in a position, you know, to think big picture once again. If you're planning on making a deep playoff run, now is the time to try to take a little bit of wear and tear off the tires of guys who have been out there so often.
Jared Elliott, for a moment, thought about going for it, but now brings on the punting unit. Let's go down to Ryan Gellner.
Hi guys, First International Bank and Trust sideline report. Jabril Cox has limped off the field. He is now being worked on by team doctors. They're looking at his right leg, guys. We'll update as we can.
Sounds good. Fellner bounces this one at the 2, and it takes an NDSU hop back to the 14. Finally comes to a rest at the 5, so NDSU backed up here with 2:16 to go.
Well, when I was talking with linebacker coach Grant Olson this week, he said the goal is to get Jabril Cox to not have to play at all in the second half. But he was certainly not, making mention that coming off and not playing at this point because he got nicked up a little bit.
Trey Lance, 12 of 13 for 146 yards in this first half.
This first half was good. Last week's first half was exceptional. 7 completions, 3 touchdowns, 160 yards against Youngstown.
Not bad.
No, it's not. It's very good.
Let's see how aggressive Tyler Roll wants to get here.
I wouldn't guess very.
Brooks going to bounce this one out. Gang tackle. The flag comes in late. Carrera got in there to make the stop with Greg Benton.
29 yards that flag flew in the air.
Pretty good arm.
He chucked it. The back judge.
Like someone was locked up with Mike Feedy over on the edge. I'm not sure who that was, but that could have been where this flag came in.
Holding. Offense, number 46. That penalty being forced half the distance remains first down.
So that will negate the 8-yard gain from Ty Brooks.
Austin Avery is the one who they saw with the infraction.
Zach Kubisin at left guard on this series for Nash Jensen. Brooks carry again. Initially held up, I believe, by Rayfelt, and then help came over.
Western using a timeout.
Charge timeout. Western Illinois. This is their second. Seconds in length.
Leatherneck's thinking maybe we can get a stop and get the ball back here with a little bit of time left. Elliott, let's take a look at maybe where Jabril Cox got injured. Let's take a look here.
42 in on the play.
Got twisted up
landed on. I think that it landed on twice maybe. Cole Karch was there once, and then one of the offensive linemen kind of dives in on the pile, and that's where it appears like he might have gotten hit on that ankle.
Lance across the middle. Babbage wide open at the 30. Look at the big man run. He's still going. 88 yards, touchdown.
There's a sideline warning flag, I think, but it doesn't matter. Here's the longest play in Josh Babbage's life of an NDSU. His long this year was 29 yards, and this one goes 88. Here you think he might get it. He steps through it, and Josh finishes off. Another long touchdown, and the Bison are up to 26 points in this first half. Another long touchdown from Trey Lance.
Boy, how about the speed from Babbage? He was out running corners and safeties to the end zone.
Wasn't Kleinsasser's number, was he? No, he was 80, wasn't he? 82, okay, I knew it was close.
Throws to the extra points. North Dakota State on a play action finds a wide open Josh Babbage. His 5th touchdown of the season. He had 2 against Youngstown last week, and he just continues to get better and better and better. And Tyler Roll said he's finally now making the plays in the game that we have seen in practice throughout fall camp and throughout practice during the regular season.
I know we've talked about this before, but maybe it's been a while, a few games, but he was a standout volleyball player in high school. Obviously chose football, bounces off those guys, takes it up and in. His family is based in Poland, actually. A bunch of his relatives are in Poland.
Only a sophomore.
Yeah, so the Bison are what, 334 total yards right now.
Well, the Bobcat scoring a recap, 2 plays, 86 yards. And again, went backwards after the penalty. So it was an 86-yard drive, but an 88-yard TD reception. Well,
the ones have done their job today. The job for the starters, so to speak, and the top line rotation guys is to build the lead, to get the 2s and the 3s a chance to play in the second half, and they certainly have done that.
Peterson Farm Seed kickoff for planting season with Peterson Farm Seed. Is that Wanye Tillman?
Tillman, yep.
Coming in to make that stop. Redshirt freshman out of Orlando, Florida. Big hit.
Nodak Insurance Company replay, splits a couple of guys, gets in on the hip and drags down the kick returner.
Also saw Jasir Cox coming in to help finish him off.
Well, Jasir was one of the guys that Coach Olson said really wanted in the defense today to get a lot of reps in the second half. So I think we'll see a heavy dose of 31 after the break.
Counter again. Flag flies. Maybe a hit on Sampson.
I think it was. Was that Tuska?
First carry of the day, I believe, for the freshman, Deshaun Gavin.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 91. It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, an automatic first down.
That moves the ball to the 36 and a first down for the Leathernecks.
Well, you mentioned Gavin, number 17, the redshirt freshman, and Jordan Shippers, number 34, a true freshman. With all the injuries that Western has had in that running back group, those two young kids, the last 2 or 3 games, have basically carried the load.
Sampson under pressure again. Tuska was the first one there. Beagler, among others, came in to help make the sack for a loss of 2.
Charge timeout. North Dakota State, their first of the half. This will be 30 seconds of length.
Coach Entz takes the timeout after the sack. Nodak Insurance Company replay. High side again. Well, I think it looked like you were going to use the running back, freshman running back Gavin, who we just talked about, be the first point of contact against one of the best rush defensive ends in the country. That is not going to work.
You talked about Gavin. He was actually recruited by Charlie Fisher to be a defensive back at Western Illinois, but they've been so banged up at running back, they moved him. This is a defense that has held its own too for Western Illinois, but when you lose guys like Pete Swenson and Colin Saunders and Justin Fitzpatrick, among others.
Moon, Taylor.
Xavier Rowe. I mean, they had all sorts of guys that have played a number of years as starters on this
obviously
defense.
Saunders, who the Viking fans got to see play in a red jersey, recently.
Sampson hanging into the pocket and flipping it out to Tate. Minimal gain. 3, maybe 4 yards.
Brings up 3rd and 8 for the Leathernecks.
Sampson firing again. It's intercepted. Josh Hayes has another one. Still on his feet. Finally ridden down at the 23-yard line with 54 seconds to go until halftime.
Well, you wonder why Coach Entz takes the timeout. That's why. Give your defensive position an opportunity to make a play, and Hayes picks up his second interception of the year. Sampson's going to step up. He's looking off to his left, airmails it, throws it up. No, he doesn't throw it quite high enough, I should say. Hayes works back to the middle of the field and puts NDSU all the way down to the 23-yard line.
With the long return, North Dakota State still plenty of opportunities here with 2 timeouts to maybe get another touchdown. Lance flushed to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown, but a flag back at the 30. Watson makes the reception, but hold everything.
It's a hold. Not going to count.
10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
That wipes out a 23-yard touchdown to Watson.
Right after Lance kind of broke off to his right, Then the flag came in right behind that play. Really nice route, though, by Watson. Even with safety help, he still was able to get a deep out.
Action again, Lance across the middle, and it is broken up. Looking for Gindorf.
Vitti. I think that was Vitti, wasn't it? I'm making the play.
Vitti's a guy that moved a corner, is a safety by trade, but again, the corner situation has been so dicey for the Leathernecks this season. They really needed a more sure-handed guy out there, so they moved him over.
Yeah, he was the free safety. Played quite a few reps at free safety. And now he's head up on Watson, top of the screen.
Lance was looking downfield, and then the route was broke off by Phoenix Sproles, but it was thrown out of bounds anyway, so that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Well, Sproles ran a stop, and then it was determined whether he was going to go. He's reading the defense. He broke the route off, went to the out at about the 15-yard line. Lance thought he was going to take off and run a fly on that. So it's not a predetermined route. They're both trying to read the situation, and the receiver reads one thing, quarterback saw something a little bit different.
Kind of a tricky part of the field here now. This would be a 50-yard field goal from this spot for Crosa, probably not in his range. Out to Williams, puts the head down and falls ahead to the 26-yard line. Benton Jr. and Vitti in on the stop for Western Illinois.
Tackle was inbounds.
Their second of the half.
So Coach Jens takes the timeout to get his, I would assume, kicking unit out there.
Interesting decision here. Think about a 43-yard attempt, 44.
I don't know if it was 46, we could watch him bounce it over the crossbar again.
Otherwise, it's 4th and 3, so it's certainly a manageable down and distance.
No, it's 13. 4th and 13.
Oh, it's 13.
Yeah.
Yep, my fault. Forgot about the 10-yard penalty. How could I forget about that? Looks like the offense is staying on the field here. Certainly not as big of a 4th down call as we saw in Brookings 2 weeks ago.
No, not. There you go. We'll put that one in the understatement of the day category. Okay, we have one nominee for that.
Lance hit as he threw it, and they're going to say incomplete.
Yeah, it was London.
Fields an incomplete pass. Result of the play, first down.
LaCale London is the one that was able to get around the Bison offensive line and get a hand, knock that ball out.
So the Bison unable to do anything with the turnover on the interception from Hayes. And Western Illinois, with one timeout and 19 seconds to work with, will take over at the 26-yard line.
Pretty good first half, though, for the Bison defense. A couple of interceptions. First touchdown was off an interception. Bison held on 4th down. Got the second touchdown because of that turnover on downs.
Just handed off. And good job by Lane Tucker getting penetration into the background. No gain on that carry. Max Norris 8 carries here in the first half, and that will take us to halftime. North Dakota State, pretty dominating performance. 341 total yards, and it's 27-0 after the first 2 quarters of play. Ryan Geller is standing by with North Dakota State head coach Matt Entz.
Pretty dominating first half, really set the tone on the defensive end.
Did okay. Some other things, too many penalties. Down in the red zone again, we set up, twice we couldn't score. So frustrated. We got to win as a team. It's not just one-sided here.
That's the message at half?
That's the message at half.
That's my final question.
Awesome, thanks.
Guys, head coach Matt Entz.
And North Dakota State 7 penalties for 71 yards in that first half. goes unnoticed when you have a 27-0 lead sometimes. Stay tuned. The Proceed halftime report with Beth Houle, Kyle Emanuel, and Alex Egan is coming up on the other side of this timeout. 27-0 North Dakota State after the first 2 quarters of play here at the Fargo Dome. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the Proceed halftime report. Brian Shawn, Lee Timmerman back with you. North Dakota State, an impressive first half. Nearly 250 yards of total offense, and a majority of that work done through the air.
Certainly efficient again through the air. The longest play from scrimmage this year, the 88-yarder to Babbage, so we saw that, second only to the 94-yard touchdown return on the kickoff that Johnson had last week. So the Bison the last couple of weeks have just had some monster explosive plays.
The defense has also really dug its heels in. No points allowed in that first half for an offense that was able to put 38 points on the board last week at home against South Dakota. It's a unit that just continues to get stingier and stingier here as the week goes along. Let's go to Ryan Gellner, who had a chance to catch up with Western Illinois head coach Justin Elliott.
Coach, it was tough sledding for your offense the first half.
Yeah, we got to find a way to stay on the field on third down. Way too many self-inflicted wounds. You have a positive, and then we take a couple steps back. So we got to play a lot better.
What do you change the second half?
It's just guys doing their job. We got to execute, and we got too many missed assignments and turning the ball over, and things that we can control.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Jared Elliott, the head coach for Western Illinois. The Bison will get the football first here to start this second half as Western Illinois won the toss and took the football right out of the chute.
Yeah, and that didn't go well. First possession was an interception that NDSU turned into the first touchdown of the game.
Jared Elliott talking to you about self-inflicted wounds, and that's kind of been the story of the season for Western Illinois. One of the worst turnover margins in all of FCS, coming in with a -8 turnover margin, which is a 111th. And that's really what has hurt this team, even when they've had chances to win, just shooting themselves in the foot.
But also, it's an offense, too, that just has really lacked explosiveness. We've seen and talked about the Bison explosive plays, but, I mean, coming into this, Western had like 45 plays over 20 yards, and about half of those were kick returns.
Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. That ball actually hit the back pylon. How about that? Nice shot. By Nathan Erickson, and North Dakota State will start from the 25.
Well, looks like Trey Lance is going to lead the #1 offense back out onto the field. There was some speculation amongst everybody standing here wondering if Nolan would get the entire second half.
Lance a couple of carries for 31 yards and a touchdown. Also very efficient through the air, 241 yards in that first half. Western Illinois all over that run again for Cofield. And again, I believe it was LaCale London coming from the backside to track him down. And here are the numbers, as we talked about, for Trey Lance, sponsored by the North Dakota Beef Commission, funded by beef farmers and ranchers. 14 of 18 to get to the 241 for a 208.6 passing efficiency rating. That's pretty good.
Phoenix Sproles, by the way, looked like he got rolled up on the back of his legs, got up really slow, came off on his own, though.
Watson had that one go right through his hands, and that will bring up 3rd and long.
Trying to get Watson isolated one-on-one with the corner on the high side. That was Williams, but first things first, that's catch the football, and it didn't happen.
Again, we have seen Zaire Williams throughout most of the game after the injury to Marquise Smith. Came up hobbling early in that first quarter, so he has come in to replace him. Lance, time in the pocket. Boy, middle of the field is wide open. And Lance will dive ahead across the 35 to the 37, and enough for a first down on a pickup of 11 yards.
Do you see him hesitate just a little bit? I think there was obviously maybe some discussions saying don't expose yourself, but he's like, okay, should I run? It's wide open. I better just go for it. But he does pick up the first down. But NDSU does not want him in many running situations. Certainly no designed runs in this second half, I wouldn't think.
Will Jacob, the lone receiver. This is a running play, and Dimitri Williams tries to cut it back up inside. Not much room. Nice job by Shabar Wilson working off his block. Only a yard on the pickup.
It's kind of a stretch move by the offensive line off, in this case, to their left. I know one of the things that A.J. Blazik does at times is he'll take and put like paddles or pads on the hands of the offensive linemen in practice so they can't grip or grab on. So you really force yourself to learn extension and you learn footwork in order to try to get into the best possible position.
Brooks on the draw. Stumbles ahead to the 49-yard line and enough for a first down.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. Low look coming right at you. Ty Brooks with his eyes. You see his eyes and reading those blocks, and he pops it off to his right a little bit, sucks it up, absorbs the punishment, gets an extra 3 yards to give the Bison another first down, which is their 15th, 16th.
Ground game again. And Western holding their own in the trenches. Rayfelt got in there to plug things up. And Brooks able to get a yard, and that's it. Rayfelt's an interesting story too, just kind of hanging around. Has not really had a chance to play in this defense. Was mainly a special teams guy until this season. Lance quickly dropping it off to Watson. Oh, nice move on the outside. Watson off to the races. Christian Watson takes it the distance. 51 yards for the touchdown.
Well, the initial move is a beauty, but the speed down the sideline, what an acceleration. Anyone that had an angle, he simply outran that one. Nodak Insurance Company replay. A little stop, circles to the outside, and right here he starts lengthening out those strides, getting up the sideline and into the end zone, and once again showing that speed.
Boy, Christian Watson off to a tremendous start this season, and he's just gotten better and better as the season has gone along, and that is the first missed extra point for Griffin Crosa. So it is 33-0 with 11:58 to go here in the third quarter. Gate City Bank is proud to support the NDSU Bison. Show your Bison pride today with a free NDSU Gate City Bank debit card. Visit gatecity.bank/mycard. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC.
Well, over the course of the year, we've mentioned probably some of this stuff about Christian Watson and his football background and where he comes from and that type of thing. But, you know, his dad, Tim, played in the NFL for a number of teams. His brother, Trey, is a linebacker at the University of Illinois. And that little circle, of course, you sense where the pressure's coming from, bypasses it, and right now, he's moving. How fast was he running on that play again last week?
Well, Matt Ensa, they put the GPS on their players, and on that 69-yard touchdown reception, over 22 miles an hour, 22.39 miles an hour is how fast they had him going on that reception. Bobcats scoring recap, 7 plays, 75 yards at 3:02 as Watson with the touchdown. He has 4 catches for 121 yards on the day. Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. Justin Hall banged, falls ahead to the 28, and that's where Western Illinois will start this drive.
Well, another way to look at it is if Christian Watson was sprinting in a school zone, he would get a ticket for speeding.
It's true. Connor Sampson has been under pressure. And we have a new man behind center. That is Kevin Johnson, who does have 1 start this season, a transfer from Richmond. 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
He has struggled.
Ratkovich makes the reception, some nifty running before he is gang tackled at the 36 after a pickup of 8. And LT, Kevin Johnson.
I remember.
He has played in this state before.
Against UND, right?
In the playoffs as a redshirt freshman, he started in the quarterfinals and won a game up in Grand Forks at the Alara Center. Ironically enough, he's back in here again. Flag comes out. at the start of the play after Ratkovich makes another catch, but we'll see what the flag is. Looks like illegal formation is the initial indication from the linesman.
Well, it was a quarterback competition into fall camp, and that was a competition that Sampson won. And then I believe it was following a bye week. Johnson actually started and then didn't play well in the second half of that game. Sampson came back in and has been playing pretty much most of the way since. I think it was a Missouri State game that Johnson started.
Give to Wahi, and stopped by Tutsi. He's still able to dash ahead to the 36-yard line. Wahi, a Norfolk State grad transfer. Had a big catch last week on 4th and 5, a 51-yard touchdown.
The longest play from scrimmage for Western.
Johnson quickly out in the flat again, and that's where Ratkovich really makes his hay, right in that area. And that's why he came in with over 40 receptions this season. Just a guy that was really good with the ball in his hands out in space.
I was talking with Danny Fry, the play-by-play guy for Western, and they were trying to figure out what position to call Ratkovich, and Coach Elliott said, let's call him a superback. Does a little bit of everything.
Johnson stepping out of trouble. Boy, puts a nice juke on Jackson Brown. He's got room to run. Johnson falls ahead at the 33-yard line.
That was a sweet move to get past Brown, and now Western wants to play a little hurry up, some tempo here off a nice big play.
Tony Tate on the edge, has room, cutting it upfield, down to the 19-yard line, and enough for a first down after a pickup of 15.
Looked to me like Brown overran his run fit just a little bit there, so that's 2 plays in a row that Jackson's probably not going to like what he sees on tape, but he allowed the cutback.
Gavin with the carry. Swarmed under at the line of scrimmage. Gains a couple.
But you see where Western's, and it's not just this game, it's been kind of the way the year's gone. Yards up the middle have been tough to come by. When they're getting, yards, it's jet sweeps, it's throws to the flat, some things on the edges.
Oh, nice move there in the hole by Norris to get out of trouble. Stayed on his feet. He's going to be close to a first down. I think he's got it down to the 9.
Looked like he rolled over the top or off the back of one of the NDSU players, did not hit the turf, kept on going and got it inside the 10.
First and goal here for the Leathernecks. Ratkovich into the end zone, touchdown.
Fourth receiving touchdown on the year for Ratkovich.
FCS first team All-American fullback in the preseason, and you can see why. Nifty guy in space. And the game-winning 9-yard touchdown run last week in the closing minutes at home against South Dakota.
Because Ratkovich, when you're just thinking of players, who you remember before you start studying lineups and all that, he's one of the guys where you go, oh yeah, okay, I remember him from last year. Other than him, there's not many players on this Western team that come to your mind right away from a season ago.
Offside, defense number 99. That penalty being forced half the distance to the goal. Retry.
Spencer Ouija getting an early start, so that'll move the ball from the 3 to the 1.5. Nathan Erickson on for the extra point. Senior out of New Berlin, Wisconsin. He's able to boot it through, and Western Illinois finally gets on the board here with 9:21 to go in the third quarter. 33-7 on the Ag Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard as Clint Ratkovich runs in his 12th career touchdown. Western Illinois on the board. As Clint Ratkovich hauls in the touchdown pass, Kevin Johnson a nice spark off the bench, and Western Illinois an efficient drive down the field in just a couple of minutes, and it's 33-7. Nathan Erickson will boot this one away for Western Illinois. Interestingly enough, he's the starting place kicker, and because Griffin Kroos' brother Sam transferred out of Western Illinois to Cincinnati, so Erickson has taken over the kickoff duties and the field goal kicking. Boosts that one through the back of the end zone.
Tell you, I know it was just in warm-ups, but in warm-ups he showed a very strong leg. He was knocking some 55-yarders through, but that's like looking good on the driving range and then going up. You don't know what's going to happen once you actually tee it up.
He's not missed a point after this season. He's 7 of 11 with a long of 45. But I think here a couple years ago, didn't he hit like a 50-yarder at halftime until halftime, because Kroos was not really
sounds about right
for long gone. I think he came in and just booted, banged one through a couple years ago here at the Fargo Dome. Ground game. Oh, running away, Ty Brooks. Another long run for Ty Brooks. Gain of 22 yards up to the 47.
Blocked extremely well on a power play.
Good patience in the hole there from Brooks to let this thing develop, and then he's hit the Jets.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. 61 Kubas helping seal that outside, and then Ty being patient with it.
Brooks up to 66 yards, rushing on the day. Going to get it again. Mikhail London there to take him down after a gain of 1. London named to the Missouri Valley All-Newcomer team a year ago. It has a couple of sacks this season. And is a guy that's pro scouts are looking at a little bit.
It's because he has the body type.
Yeah, 6'5", 280 long. Transferred from Iowa Central Community College. Cofield, good footwork. A stiff arm, and has the first down to the 41-yard line. Physical finish to that run.
It's Bison basics here. Nodak Insurance Company replay. Kubas the pull means in a fullback lead means we're running power. Lukey did a nice job on number 31 there to make him Williams take him out of the play.
First and 10 for the herd at the Leatherneck 42-yard line.
Eric Carrera finally making the stop for the Leathernecks, and North Dakota State quickly into Leathernecks territory. Lance out to Kapuris. Nice block on the edge there from Cole Jacob. And Kapuris close to another first down, and I think he's got it to the 31-yard line, gain of 11. Let's pause now for a quick message from the Bank of North Dakota.
My plan was to get a degree in engineering, and with the help of a student loan from Bank of North Dakota, I did. If you want to build something solid, you need a plan.
Bank of North Dakota, helping you achieve more.
Dimitri Williams, following Lukey up the hole, gains a couple to the 29-yard line.
That was led by number 90, Malik Burns. Gain of 2 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 8 for the Bison.
Malik Burns, take a look at him there, and now that stop again. Had a couple tackles for loss in that first half, and it's kind of an interesting guy in high school. Was a running back, linebacker, a defensive end, and has kind of settled in to this rotation on the defensive line after coming over from Temple. Play action Lance. Lukey open in the flat again. And Hunter Lukey dragged down by Andre Whitley, but not until he gets another first down inside the 20.
That's a play designed to have happen exactly what he did. Get your running back isolated on the linebacker. Whitley was just a little bit slow in his positioning, couldn't quite catch up in front. Lukey, look at where they caught that ball. Perfect position from Trey Lance. So Lukey is able to use all that momentum to pick up the first.
Williams, oh, huge hole up the middle. Williams carrying a tackler down to the 1-yard line.
Bison will hurry up and run it. That was an inside zone Nodak Insurance Company replay. Zone blocking this time. Power has worked so well. The C's part right up the gut.
Williams again. Around one tackler into the end zone. Touchdown.
There's the physical nature of the offensive line on this drive. I talked about the power runs and then really nice zone blocking that gets the Bison down to the 1, and then Dimitri Williams, the redshirt senior, picking up his 2nd of the day, 5th of the year. His rushing touchdown, and the Bison are up 39-7.
Boy, 4 touchdown runs now in the last 2 weeks for Dimitri Williams, who missed a good chunk of the first half of the season due to injury. And Crosa adds the extra point, and it's 40-7 with 5:42 to go in the 3rd quarter. Bison starting to impose their will up front, and it's a 33-point lead on the Ag Country Farm Credit Services scoreboard. Bobcat scoring recap. 8 plays, 75 yards, most of the damage done on the ground, as Williams has his 2nd touchdown of the day. Garrett Wegner on to boot this one away. Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planting season with Peterson Farm Seed. We'll send Justin Hall back inside his own 5. And Hall eludes one man. Ooh, Hall. Pretty good speed coming out of the chute and still going. Finally wrestled down by Trey Fort at the 36-yard line. Let's go to the Gate City Bank fan cam. Be sure to send your home or watch party pics to FanCam Your Cam, and we'll show those coming up here in the 4th quarter. Thanks to all you folks that have sent those in from all over the country. It's been tremendous to see all the people getting together for watch parties from east to west. Johnson setting up and just throwing it at the ground. That thing was not set up well, as Ratkovich had no chance. Let's go to Ryan Gellner for a First International Bank and Trust sideline report. He was standing by the special guest that made it a special day for some veterans in our area. Ryan?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Brian. Alana Christensen is here. She's the one that set up this Veterans Day ticket extravaganza. You were able to get some tickets, first of all, and then donate them back to veterans. So first of all, Alana, tell us how you got the tickets in the first place.
The season ticket holders and the Bison fans, good old Bison Nation, they came forward and they donated their tickets to the veterans so that all these veterans could come to the game today.
You were able to gather over 400 tickets, which means over 400 veterans, their families, are able to come to a Bison game.
That's right. They all met out in the lobby right before the game. They got their tickets. It was 462 of them. Some of them haven't been to a Bison game before, and they were so excited to just experience Bison Nation.
Tell us about some of those stories, because I'm sure for some of those men and women coming in here to the Fargo Dome, they've seen it on TV, they've seen it play out, but being here is just different. You gave them that opportunity. Tell us some of those stories.
There was a World War II veteran who said to me that he has always wanted to see a Bison football game. He didn't ever think he would have the opportunity to do so. And he is here today, and he said, you know, this is something that I always wanted to do, and now I get to do it before I leave this earth. So it was pretty touching. There's a lot of touching stories like that.
It's a great story. Your story great as well. You told me your father's a veteran, so Veterans Day very important to you.
It is, like so many other people. My father was a World War II veteran. He was a B-17 pilot. But so many of us, you know, have veterans in the family, and we hold them in highest regard.
How neat is this? You're here every game. These are your seats. You hold these signs. You've got your Veterans Day sign here to salute to the veterans. How neat is this for you, though, personally?
it's just a wonderful ending to a few weeks of, letting everyone know that we need tickets for these veterans. So it's real humbling at the end. It has been just a wonderful experience. The veterans were so appreciative today. They were just, smiling from ear to ear. They just had, so many just smiles on their faces to come into the ball game. So they're the ones that are so deserving of this.
And they're the reason we get to do this. Thank you so much. The reason we get to sit here at a football game. The reason you get to sit in the front row and cheer your heart out. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for what you've done for the veterans.
You're very welcome. We hope to do it again next year.
Guys, pretty special story from down here. Just one of many very cool things that's happening from Bison Nation.
All right, thanks so much, Ryan, and thanks to Alana for gathering all those tickets. And a special thank you on this Veterans Day weekend to all those that have served, all those that continue to serve. We cannot say enough how appreciative we are of everything you have done to protect us and our nation.
Yeah, all you can say is thank you, and you say thank you knowing that's not enough. My dad passed away in March. He was a veteran of Korea, so every Veterans Day I always wanted to call him and say thanks as well, or send him a card. So it's the weekend to do it.
So a couple of penalties. I think we're going to end up doing all this again. Trevor Wright had the ball to the 25, but the offsetting penalties means we will punt it away from the 38-yard line. Meanwhile, down in Brookings, some developments in the fourth quarter. A fumbled kickoff gave Illinois State great field position. The Redbirds took advantage and went ahead 24-18. South Dakota State turned it over again on the next possession, and the Redbirds turned that into a field goal. So it is a 9-point lead, 27-18 with 6:30 left in the game down in Brookings. So a potential upset brewing down there as Trevor Height is smacked again as he gets right back to about where he got the first time.
He was spun around by Herschel Blankenship first. Here comes Zeb Nolan in for his chance at quarterback.
Zeb Nolan, the transfer from Iowa State, junior. He's played in 5 games, 3 of 5 for 63 yards. Randy Hedberg has a lot of good things to say about this young man, how he has approached this, how he has developed into this offense, and he's doing a great job.
He is, and I thought what Coach Jensen, his presser this week on Monday, said a couple of things too about Zeb that I thought were really enlightening, and I wrote down a couple of those, and this is Matt Entz talking. He says the value of having someone like Zeb as a backup, he says you can't measure it. He is a critical part of the success of NDSU. That means the meetings, the film study, all the things that he's trying to do to not only be prepared if he has to play, but also get Trey Lance prepared to play.
And Trey has just sang the praises of his approach, the way he has treated this, as Sabian Clark ping-pongs around to about the 32-yard line, 2 yards short of a first down. Both he and Noah Sanders, the quarterback room, he said, those guys are so important. I cannot tell you how important they are for me to perform on Saturdays, the preparation they help me with during the week. Sometimes that goes unnoticed because we don't see it.
Well, and now that Trey's not in the game, there's one thought I think we should probably pass along as well, that when we were talking with Tyler Roll about Trey Lance, and he named 3 things. He says, A, his family, the way he was raised, Easton Stick and Randy Hedberg, he said, were some of the main reasons why he's doing what he's doing this year.
Clark, following his blocks, has a first down up to the 36, and then the flag comes in very late. Tell you what, these officials have some arms on them. That flag was about 30 feet in the air.
I still like the 31-yarder from the first half.
And the crew,
that would cover distance.
This crew has not officiated a North Dakota State football game since last year when they played at Missouri State. So this is not a crew the Bison have seen a lot. And this is the potentially ninth penalty on NDSU here today. 7 of those in the first half.
This looks like it'll take away a first down because the Bison had first down yardage.
Deputy started the game as number 8 and did not report in. As a result, that's an unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Offense number 80, 15 yards from the previous spot, remains first down.
Buying, building, or refinancing. Start with a free immediate pre-approval from Gate City Bank and experience a better home loan. Get started today at gatecity.bank for a better way of life. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Correction, it is third down.
Number 80. Do you understand that?
No, I don't get that.
I think he has his numbers wrong.
Yeah,
But
right.
I think he's talking about Cody Mauk.
Okay, that
Because-
did not port in with the right number.
Because Cody wears 70 when he's going to be a tackle, 88 when he's going to be the tight end. Here, he put his 70 jersey on to play tackle and probably didn't tell them that I switched jerseys. That's my guess.
Yeah,
I think he
that's
just has.
more likely.
I think he has the numbers wrong. There's Cody right there wearing number 70.
Nolan will swing it out. Kapuris has a ways to go, and he will not get there, well short of a first down, to the 27-yard line, and that will be a punting situation for NDSU.
That's one thing actually I didn't catch during the play down in Brookings, was that Cody Mauk had his 88 jersey in there reported as the extra tight end on the same side where Cofield went 71.
Was it Babbage next to him
Next
on
to
that
him,
side?
yep.
Right. Babbage also put a pretty good shot on his man, and then Hunter Lukian. We asked Tyler Roll about that call and questioning what do we do, and frankly, he just said, no, we knew this is what we wanted to do, and we call it a vertical zone, meaning we just want to get man on man and go.
Yep.
And they got some good push up front, and you know, he talked about Babbage making some adjustments on that play.
Here's another flag. Fair catch, it'll be interference in the fair catch.
So this would be penalty number 10 on North Dakota State.
I don't think he hit him, but I think he was too close to him.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team, number 25, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And we'll go on Michael Tutsi and move the ball inside North Dakota State territory with 2:07 to go here in the third quarter. We step aside, Bison lead 40-7, and Western Illinois will take over inside Bison territory when we return. Western Illinois from the 49-yard line of NDSU, and a flag comes out again. Somebody from North Dakota State jumped off sides. Johnson is hit for a loss of 1, but again, this will get moved up 5 to the 44.
It's taken a long time just to get plays run, hasn't it?
Offside. Defense number 47, 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Luke Wirtz, is that who they got for jumping off? So here's Johnson. Numbers sponsored by the North Dakota Beef Commission, funded by beef farmers and ranchers. 5 touchdowns, 4 picks. Again, didn't make a start, but has just kind of struggled to pick up the offense, hasn't he?
He started against Missouri State. I think he
Is
had
that
one
the
start.
one?
Yep.
Okay.
He did have one start.
Boy, Norris has come to play today. Mostart, I believe, was in there on that tackle for North Dakota State. Will Mostart has a twin brother, Eli, also on the team, a freshman from Lakeville, Minnesota. Has had an opportunity to play more and more reps, and that's a look also at Bo Pauly, who's in at linebacker. Johnson rolling out of the pocket, firing back across the middle on target, and it's complete. Catch made by Dennis Houston. Down to the 18-yard line. Nice throw there from Johnson.
It was working against Dawson Weber, I think it was. Here's Weber, the safety, picks up the deep man. The ball put right on target. Nodak Insurance Company replay.
Johnson dropping again, and he is hit and taken down back at the 24-yard line. That is Luke Wirtz coming in from his linebacker position for the sack, and Leatherneck is down at the 25.
Luke was one of those guys that NDSU identified early that he would go beyond the 4 games in terms of the red shirt because of his importance on special teams. And here he fills the gap, fills the hole, picks up the sack.
And Wirtz had a chance to talk to him earlier this season, and a very mature 18-year-old. I mean, a kid that talks wise beyond his years, was a very highly touted recruit, had an offer from Kansas State and a boatload of others. But Matt Entz talking about in his signing day preference that his father travels up to this area, is in his region for, I believe he does some sales, so that kind of factored in to Wirtz coming to North Dakota State, and certainly Matt Entz loves to have him.
I know earlier in this quarter, Brian, you were talking about one of the Western guys and how the different positions that he plays or played. And I was thinking back, and I wrote a note on it from Derek Tuska, that when he was in high school, of course, Warner, small school, but these are the positions that they listed that Derek played in high school. Linebacker, safety, running back, wide receiver, tight end, long snapper, punter, and kicker.
Gotta love it, man. Brian Woodard has helped off. Not putting a whole lot of weight on that leg as he hobbles off the sidelines.
Been a tough day for the tackles for Western.
.224 left in Brookings. Illinois State with the football.
And a
9-point lead. Johnson swinging it out, and that's the first catch of the day for the transfer from Ole Miss, a tight end by the name of Gabe Angel. And when he came out of high school, went to Lebanon, Tennessee, was ranked the 4th best tight end in the nation by ESPN. I mean, this guy was highly touted, but things just didn't work out, and here he is at Western. Johnson hanging in there. Lost the ball, and I think NDSU got on top of it. And Eli Mostark got on top of it for NDSU.
We'll have to look at it on the replay, but I think Wirtz kind of dove, and I think he's the one who knocks it out. It is. Nope, it wasn't. It's the second man in.
So it was the first Mostark that caused the fumble, and the other Mostark fell on top of it.
There's twins doing the work.
Well, there's a highlight to save mom and dad.
That's pretty cool. Will knocks it. Eli gets it back. Mostarks from Lakeville, Minnesota.
So the Bison offense back on the field here. Just 16 seconds left in this third quarter. Oof, big hit on Sabian Clark, but was able to keep his feet. Carrero was the one that came up and hit him initially. But Clark able to get across the 25 to the 27. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter. North Dakota State in control.
That's the end of the third quarter.
15 minutes away from win number 10 on the season. 40-7 your score after the first 3 quarters here at the Fargo Dome. Back for the final 15 minutes after this timeout on the KBOI Camp Ware Bison Television Network. North Dakota State second down and 8 from the 27-yard line. And there is a roar from the crowd, and we'll tell you why in a minute. Nolan on target. Another catch there for Hunter Lupke. Been busy in that department today.
Tell us why, Brian.
The roar from the crowd. It is a final in Brookings. Illinois State has knocked off South Dakota State 27-18. A massive win for the Redbirds after a defeat at home to Northern Iowa last week. So Illinois State in position here with a game at home against Missouri State and then on the road at Youngstown to possibly finish 9-3 and even get a seed in the playoffs.
And the Jacks have to play the Panthers next week.
At home. Interesting. Nolan to throw again. And Height set down. I think Nolan thought he was going to keep going. Trevor Height the intended target.
Little slant on third down right at the hash mark. Bison left to punt.
Garrett Wegner on a boot, another one away from the 32. Justin Hall back deep once again for the Leathernecks at his own 30. Western has come after a couple of these punts. High snap again. That's been a little bit of an issue today. Oh, end over end. And that may have hit a, did that hit a Leatherneck? Well, Hall picked it up.
Doesn't matter now, does it?
Sure doesn't. And he is ridden out of bounds by Tutsi right around the 45-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 47. Experience a better home loan with Gate City Bank. Whether you're buying, building, or refinancing, Gate City Bank provides locally approved, financed, and serviced home loans. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
701-476-1660 or toll free 877-792-7444. Your phone calls and reactions on Bison Hotline on your home for NDSU Sports 107.9.
There's a look at Javier Derrick, true freshman, played earlier in this season. Young man they're really high on, a 276-pounder out of Olathe, Kansas. And I believe that was Dom Davis in there to get in on that tackle, and Davis is playing with a torn ACL. He tore it this season, looked like his season was over, said, "Coach, I want to give it a go, I'm going to brace it up," and there he is out there right now.
Yeah, it's his senior year. Didn't want to stand on the sideline and watch it, so he rehabbed to get back out there. That was nice to see Davis in there.
And Davis missed all of last year with another ACL tear, so it's just been a couple of tough years, but still wanted to be a part of the team and at least getting a chance to get on the field here for the Bison. His brother Pierre G. Tucker was a standout linebacker here. Tony Tate, good room on the edge. And Davis
making the tackle.
Somehow getting over there to make the stop. Johnson's going to lob it up. One-on-one coverage. Jaden Price is out there for North Dakota State.
And it's going to be holding.
Flag coming in back at the 15-yard line. Intended target was Dennis Houston.
Yeah, I think that was Price. You could see the white jersey get pulled.
Pass interference. Defense number 35. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. An automatic first down.
Price, a redshirt freshman out of Derby, Kansas.
You could probably pick up that the crowd doesn't like it, but I certainly saw it where the ball was in the air. You just tugged on the back of the jersey. They didn't show that part on the replay here, the in-house feed, which is what the fans are looking at on those big scoreboards on either end.
There's been a lot of penalties to North Dakota State, and it's just kind of been one of those years. 12 for 123.
A one-week reprieve.
Room to the outside, and getting tripped up was the freshman Shippers. 27th carry of the season.
Wirtz might have been the one that got a hand on the trip him up.
Johnson stepping up in the pocket, hit as he threw it. Was it caught?
Nope.
They're saying incomplete. Wahi was the intended target. The ball bounced, and then he caught it in the air. Wahi's still trying to plead his case, but the ball was just a little bit short, and maybe because Johnson was hit as he threw it.
Yeah, he tried to step up, and he stepped up in a little bit of traffic. Didn't get a good spiral on the ball. Kind of ran into his own guy.
Ooh.
No.
That might be a touchdown, right?
Well, just because everything else in this second half is taking a long time, we might as well make this play take a long time too, and we're going to review it.
Take another look at it here.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. Looking off to his left, runs into his own teammate, so it's not a strong ball.
I think he caught
touchdown,
it. That's a touchdown for Wahi. That's a heck of a catch. Good concentration.
This should give us an angle with a really good look. This is a good look at it. No turf there.
Nope.
Well, certainly no turf, I don't think, here. It's up around his elbows.
After further review, it's determined the receiver had possession of the ball.
Touchdown.
Therefore, it's a touchdown.
Now the crowd doesn't like it, but it's the right call.
It is a touchdown. Yep. Good look, guys. I mean, we're providing the replays to the officials on the booth off to our left, and that was a touchdown.
And they're showing it here now. We'll see if people. They can't believe it.
No, it's a touchdown.
It's a touchdown. Erickson on for the extra point. He knocks it through, and it's 40-14 with 12:26 to go here in the football game. Western Illinois gets the touchdown reception from Wahi, his 4th of the season, and the next still a long way to go, but they got another touchdown. Back in a moment. Back here at the Fargo Dome, and we got it in super slow-mo for you here on this George Wahi touchdown reception. Man, the crowd went ecstatic when they called this a touchdown on the review, but see right there, I don't think the ball ever
the ball
touched
doesn't
the
touch
turf.
it there. This is where I think you look at it.
He's got it.
That ball is above the turf.
Heck of a catch by Wahi. This one booted down and out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. And
penalty.
Only the 5th one on Western, though. And there comes the crowd, kind of a joke of a cheer here.
Ball is swatted at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10.
Replay official Roger Quinlan today from the Missouri Valley. Boy, it's been a busy day for Aaron Adams. Boy, he's been on the mic a lot today, mostly for North Dakota State. 12 penalties, 123. And if there's one area that is maybe of concern for North Dakota State, that is it right there, because they've had some games where they have had a boatload of them.
Well, the last 2 games we've done for sure with double-digit penalties, and the one before I think was 9 penalties, if I remember right.
And there is the officiating crew today from the Missouri Valley. Again, this first Bison game they've done in over a year. And there's a carry for Jalen Bussey, and another true freshman is going to take it to the house. 65 yards, touchdown. Oh, there's a flag back at the 32.
I'm not sure who it's on, but Logan Hofstedt and somebody else were engaged well after the play was long gone, and I don't know who it's on.
After the play, there are 2 fouls, one against each team. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 49. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 23. Those fouls will offset the result of play. Touchdown.
That's good. He gets to keep that on his stat board.
Reminded me a lot of last week's Kobe Johnson. The C's just kind of parted and he ran, and this same thing for Bussey, who's another really speedy freshman that they're really excited about out of Florida. 5'5", 153, not the biggest guy, but electric.
Another explosive play. The Bison just have continued to rack those up throughout the course of the year. I mean, coming into this game, NDSU was averaging 20%, so 1 in every 5 plays, a chunk play, a 10-yard rush or 15-yard pass.
Bosa knocks through the extra point. 47-14, North Dakota State quickly responds.
On the field.
How about Jalen Bussey? Scooting through the hole and running away from everybody. 65 yards for his first collegiate touchdown. An 11-second scoring drive on the Bobcat scoring recap. The first collegiate carry for Jalen Bussey. He's averaging 65 yards. Not bad.
And during the break, on the big video replay board inside, everyone was looking up and smiling and high-fiving him.
Peterson Farm Seed kickoff your planning season with Peterson Farm Seed. This comes down to the 7-yard line, and this guy's been busy today. Oh, the ball is out, and I think NDSU's got it back again. Justin Hall lost the football. And Jaden Price is the guy that came up with it, the freshman out of Kansas.
Nodak Insurance Company replay, and there is
Sabian Clark knocked it loose?
knocks it out. Number 30 knocks it out. There's Clark, battles around that tackle. The ball's already behind him. He gets one little hand on the arm, it looks like. Then the scramble. Price gobbles it up.
Clark tiptoeing through a hole. Greg Benton Jr. there to take him down low after a gain of 1. Time now for the Gate City Bank fan cam. Thanks to all of you who submitted watch party pics. Little guy has got his horns up. Oh, thank you to our veterans, and thank you to Alana Christensen for getting nearly 500 tickets for veterans today. Well, Ryan Geller getting a little FaceTime there in that shot. That looks a lot warmer than it looks here. Thanks to all that submitted to the Gate City Bank fan cam watch party pics wherever you are today. Nolan swinging it out. That was a dangerous pass. I think Mike Vitti kind of had a beat on that, but was locked up with Andy Voyen on the outside, incomplete.
I think Voyen was trying to work himself to make the block, try to clear the path for the ball to get out.
Another big game with a top 5 implication. Weber State, number 3 in the nation, released in the FCS committee polls, trails North Dakota at home 24-20 midway through the 3rd quarter. So there has been some interesting developments here this week.
Jacks lose. What if Weber? What if the Fighting Hawks beat Weber?
Hunter Lukey, the intended target for Nolan, incomplete. Then that'll bring up 4th down.
If they do, the committee will go, we're not doing this whole thing anymore. Because the week that the poll comes out, it gets shooken up a little bit.
You'd have to think Illinois State has worked themselves into a seed, and certainly Northern Iowa has a chance to move up.
Special teams unit out here for the Bison.
Yeah, we got a different place kicker out there. Will Cardinal, true freshman out of Fridley, Minnesota, getting an opportunity here for a 32-yard attempt. Down, up. Boy, that looks perfect. Good job, young man. He tacks on 3 more, and it's 50-14 with 11:21 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Always nice to get points off of turnovers. Bison worked the turnover on the kickoff. And the 3 more in the field goal. NDSU up to 50.
And there's still 11:20 left in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you would assume, let's see, I think 605 yards against Butler was the max so far this year. NDSU's at what? 583.
You can hear all about this game, get analysis with head coach Matt Entz and host Jeremy Jorgensen tomorrow on the Bison Football Show, 10:30 a.m. on KX4 here in Eastern North Dakota, and then all the NBC affiliates out west. So tune in for that. If you miss it tomorrow morning, you can watch it on KVLI following Sunday Night Football tomorrow evening. And Cardinal will kick this one away as well. So a lot of different guys getting a chance to play some extended reps here, which I know was the goal.
Yep, that was the hope. Yep.
Cardinal sends this one down and taking up the 6-yard line. Running through some arm tackles, still on his feet. Hall dashing up to the 39-yard line before Trey Fort makes the tackle. Trying to atone for that lost fumble. Talking about it before the game, the loss of Sean McGuire. He's actually a quarterback in the same room with Chris Streveler, the former South Dakota quarterback, and he was forced, Streveler was,
to have to wear some purple.
Have to wear some leatherneck purple last week on social media after South Dakota went down to the Leathernecks. Here's Deshaun Gavin. Gain of 8 yards.
They're in Winnipeg, right?
They are.
North of here, yeah.
Terrell Hall was in on that tackle as well. Another true freshman getting an opportunity to play here today. Hall out of Winona, Minnesota, 5'10", 186. Johnson, that may have been a broken play. Lost a yard.
Looked like Johnson wanted to hand it off to someone, and someone wasn't there.
It's a pretty hopeless feeling.
Well, and then as a quarterback, you just try to, wherever the play was designed to go, you just try to get the ball there if you can on your own.
Gavin's got a first down. Good blocking up front. A strong run inside NDSU territory to the 45-yard line. Jaden Price coming up to make the stop. Johnson flares it out. Drake makes the catch. Nice open field tackle there by Dom Davis. Gain of 4. First down run there for Norris. He gains 7 yards to the 34 before he is cut down.
It's a good patience there by Max to let a little blocking help clear out the right side and work off of that.
Johnson drops it off in the slot. Jack White, redshirt freshman tight end, his first catch of the day.
Third of the year. He does have a touchdown.
Wahi on the end around, puts a move on a man. Wahi stays on his feet. Wahi into the end zone, touchdown.
This is tough for this Bison defense just to try to get lined up because of the tempo that Western is trying to play. But on that jet sweep, there were a couple of Bison that could not even identify where the ball went. That helped open up the outside, and he broke one tackle and took it in.
Seventh carry of the day, of the season for George Wahi. 28-yard touchdown run, high snap. Erickson.
Good job. Good job on the hold.
How about that? He out-kicked the net. Somebody in the stands got a souvenir right in their face. 9:04 to go here in the football game. It's 50-21. As Wahi takes it in from 28 yards on the end around. Some fancy footwork in the open field. Seven plays, 60 yards, and 206. George Wahi with a 28-yard touchdown run. $9:04 to go in this one from the Fargo Dome. This game has felt like it's taken an eternity, especially here in the second half. Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kick off your planting season with Peterson Farm Seed. This ball bounces down to Bussey at the 5-yard line. Oh, look at this, some scoop. Can he stay on his feet?
There he goes again.
Well, Erickson chases him out of bounds. Nice return for Bussey, close to 50 yards. Down to the 46-yard line, 45 of Western Illinois.
So he takes it at the 5. So he has over 100 yards of total work. 65-yard touchdown run. And that one that goes 50.
Bussey remaining in the game at tailback here. Second carry. Bussey might take it to the house again. 45 yards on this one.
He's got 110 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
In his first 2 carries as a collegiate player.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. Power up the middle. Obviously the seam opens up, and then you use speed to beat everyone off their run fits because they're not in position to make the tackle. Too slow to get there. Kid showing some good zip.
He's the leading rusher today. 2 carries, 110, and 2 touchdowns.
By the way, the Bison,
that went in, I guess.
This is the largest offensive output of the year, beating the 605 yards in the opener at Target Field.
Boy, Jalen Bussey thinking this college football thing is pretty easy.
Coach, why'd you wait so long to put me in?
Two more regular season games left after this one wraps up here today. Next weekend at home against South Dakota. The Coyotes coming in and blowout victory. On the verge of it against Youngstown State. And that will be senior day. Chance to say goodbye to seniors. And then the final road game of the season at Southern Illinois, a team that still has some playoff hopes. The Salukis picking up win number 6 today at home against Missouri State. And then it is time for the postseason in North Dakota State. You'd have to think we'll be one of the top seeds, one of the top 2, and we'll certainly be hosting some games here in December.
Yeah, if that plays out like that, you get the bye on Thanksgiving weekend.
Another Peterson Farm Seed kickoff. Kickoff your playing season with Peterson Farm Seed. Paul again. This guy's getting plenty of work today. Well, nice job actually.
Not easy to run down.
Nice. Elusive.
Looked like Trey Ford again in on the tackle.
628 total yards for North Dakota State. Here comes Johnson back on the field. 8 of 10, 81 yards, 2 scores.
Well, was it NDSU's? I'll let the play happen. And I'll try to remember the number I'm thinking of. I think the number is 198. That's the least amount this year that the Bison have run the ball. And that was against Davis.
Jared Drake the reception, game 6. Houston, boy, nice open field tackle. Jasir Cox closing quickly.
Do you know what I liked about that play is how Hall came up, squeezed the outside, make sure that he kept his leverage, because it's his responsibility to make sure that play does not go outside of him, and he didn't. Forced it back inside. Cox was able to make it a 3rd down.
Johnson, Wahi had it right in his hands, and he dropped it on 3rd down. Did he go for it here?
He needs to dive and bobble it and then to make the catch.
Jared Elliott will run the punt team out with 7:56 to go.
Well, co-offensive coordinator, one of Elliott's guys who helped calling the plays, David Rocco. Remember that last name? His dad, the head coach at Delaware.
And Danny Rocco, the head coach, he had mentioned he had talked with his son prior to playing North Dakota State just to compare some notes.
Charge timeout, Western Illinois. This will be a 30-second timeout.
There's Elliott, tall guy with the hat on, the head coach. He played at Miami of Ohio, and he played both quarterback and receiver.
Justin Fitzpatrick, we talked about him, one of the safeties that played here for a long time. He's actually still on the staff at Western Illinois as a video coordinator and a graduate assistant in video operations. He kind of puts together all the highlights and pump-up videos. Ooh, Height took a pretty good shot after.
Well, he shouldn't have taken the shot because he caught it with his knee on the turf.
It was Blankenship, I think, that came in and hit him.
I thought he was giving himself up there, wasn't he? But he took the hit anyway. Here's what I mean. Height's going to grab it, go to a knee, so the play is over. Yet two guys still hit him.
Right.
I mean, I know we've seen a lot of flags today, but that should have been one, shouldn't it?
Boy. Sabian Clark wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. First man there was Benton Jr.
He's a redshirt freshman. So is the guy who ran the ball, Sabian Clark. Sioux City Heelan.
With Western Illinois continuing to run tempo offense, it still just creates so many possessions. It just takes so long to get out of a game.
And the long touchdown runs that Bussey's had too. Bison would like a couple of first downs here.
Clark can't escape. Blankenship in there to get him low. No gain. 3rd and long.
Brings up 3rd and 9 for the Bison.
See Quinn Allo in there at guard. Sideline with a nicked up ankle a few weeks. And Clark following his block, staying on his feet. Nice footwork. Still in bounds. Finally thrown out of bounds by Cole Watts.
Western player hurt bad too.
Boy.
No, I think that's.
Is that Joe Turk?
Yep,
41.
41. Joe Turk.
Oh, his leg is not in good shape.
Nodak Insurance Company replay. Joe Turk, 41, injured on the play.
Comes from a football family. His uncle Dan was a punter in the NFL for 14 years, and oof. Hate to see that late in games, especially.
Yeah. He had his hand up immediately, pointing to his left leg, saying, "This is not good." Ken mentioned the Bison have Josh Howson's playing on the offensive line right now. Zach Kubas, who just made a nice block there. Jake Rock, I think, is getting a little work now at tackle. And you said Quinn Allo, Quinn made that move from defense to offense.
As they continue to attend to Turk and wish the best for him, we will step aside and be back after this. .6:13 to go here in the 4th quarter. North Dakota State, after they got Turk off the field, set up 1st and 10 at the 46, and that does not look good for that young man. Senior too, out of Missouri City, Texas.
And Zach Willis is the one doing the snapping now.
The crowd wanted Kobe to take another one.
Oh, geez, his average has dropped dramatically.
He's only down about 40 yards a carry now. Still gains about 7.
8 of 6 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 4 for the Bison.
So in a day where there's 318 rushing yards so far, Bussey's leading everybody on the ground.
Jalen Bussey's done a pretty good job out there. 3 for 116, down to 38.7 per carry. Oof.
Oh, negative yards now.
Some more welcoming college football hit. That'll get you ready. Watts putting a smack on him, loss of 5. Watts, interesting guy too. His cousin is actually Reagan Upshaw. Remember that name at Clemson?
I do.
Standout. Just a sophomore. Fires all right on target. Andy Boyan. There you see the arm strength of Zeb Nolan. That is not an easy throw to make from the near hash to the far sideline. He put it on a rope.
Hash to the field. That's one of the most difficult throws in football, and he just made that one look pretty easy. Nodak Insurance Company replay sets those feet on target. First down. That's a really nice throw. Good job by the receiver to kind of work off Andy Boyan. Gain a little space there before he broke to the outside.
We'll take a couple more minutes off the clock too. Oof, oof. Sabian Clark is decked by Watts.
Free release off the high side.
Clark bouncing it out into the 39-yard line. Gain of 6, maybe 7 yards. Whitley lost his helmet. He's the man chasing Clark out of bounds.
And I know this is the year where the Bison have the extra game, so it's the long schedule with no FBS game and NDSU being undefeated right now. But NDSU's strength of schedule is not bad.
Pretty good.
I mean,
you look at the ranked teams.
7 of the wins are going to be against teams that have been ranked in the top 25 this year.
Clark putting his foot in the ground and getting upfield. Taken down by Trey Hendon, junior linebacker out of Peoria, Illinois.
Of course, today's work will keep a lot of streaks going. The 31-game winning streak, 24th straight win at home. But Harvest Bowl, 41-2-2 now after today.
Yeah, first started in 1974 to celebrate excellence in agriculture. There goes Bussey again. Bussey hitting the Jets, trying to outrun Nutoff, unable to do it, but still enough for a first down to the 20, and now NDSU can take a couple of knees and put this one away.
Justin Nutoff, the junior, saved another touchdown, which would have been Bussey's third.
681 yards of total offense today for North Dakota State.
Balanced too.
343 on the ground, 333 through the air. See Logan Hofstad now in at fullback as well. Bussey, not much.
NDSU is going to need one more snap. And then win number 10 becomes official.
If you look at Zach Mathis there and tall drink of water in the coat and the hood, he is starting to run a little bit. And they're hopeful maybe here in the next few weeks they can get that young man back.
I was gonna show him and circle him, but any pom-poms in the way there at the end. Yeah, it's good. His injury not as bad as first feared.
Sabian Clark will get the final carry of the day down to the 13-yard line, and that will finally do it. 57-21 the final. North Dakota State has won 31 straight games and are 10-0 on the season. That guy is 10-0 as a head coach. Not a bad way to start off your career.
No, that's pretty good. Coming off a year where you were the FCS assistant coach of the year. Working his first job as the head coach here from NDSU, taking over when Coach Kleiman went to K-State. 10 straight wins. Trey Lance, another efficient day. This Bison offense churning out almost 700 yards, 688.
Trey Lance, first career 300-yard game. 17 of 22 for 313 and 2 touchdowns. He also ran in for a score from 23 yards out. So now 30 touchdowns that he is responsible for, either through the air and on the ground, and he is yet to throw an interception.
Yeah, he had 162 points responsible for coming into today. First in the Valley, top 10 in the country.
Ryan Geller will catch a word here with Matt Entz, winning head coach.
Thank you for your attendance today and your support of NDSU athletics. NDSU and the North Dakota Department of Transportation ask you to please drive safely on your way home. Be a champion. Buckle up. Good night, Bison Nation.
And here is Ryan Geller.
681 yards, 57 points for your offense today. Pretty good.
Yeah, they did a nice job. You know, and got to use everybody. That was exciting to see. We dressed a few more people than normal today, and we got them all in, and that was good. It's always good to see where you're at, and there's still plenty of things we got to correct. Too many penalties today.
Talk a little bit more about some of those young kids that got in. The Jalen Bussey's, his first 2 carries go for 2 collegiate touchdowns. Pretty cool.
Well, we knew he was special. That's why we recruited him. You know, it came down to, I think at the beginning of the year, who picked the playbook up quicker, and Kobe did. But as you see, they're very similar. And to be able to spread those guys out amongst 2 different classes will really help us down the road.
Undefeated once again, another good win this week. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Guys, back upstairs.
North Dakota State keeps things rolling. 57-21 the final. We'll be back to talk more about it after this timeout. (57-21) your final. North Dakota State continuing to roll here at home, on the road. It doesn't seem to matter, LT. They've won 31 straight as a program.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, all those explosive plays last week against Youngstown, a lot of that carried over in terms of explosive plays again today. I mean, we had the 88-yard tight end to catch and run for a touchdown, so the Bison continue to score in all matters of fact. You know, different ways. 77 plays the Bison run today and get almost 700 total yards.
And Jalen Bussey going off in the fourth quarter as well. If we take a look at some of the first half highlights, and there were a lot of them. Western Illinois coming out in that tempo offense, but Jackson Hankey getting like good depth there to get the interception early.
Yeah, doing his center field duties as the guy in the middle linebacker spot that helps set up. Ty Brooks being able to take it outside. Christian Watson making a nice block. Ty takes it all the way down. They mark him out at the 1, and then Cofield scores right behind it.
So North Dakota State out of the chutes quickly, and that was kind of the story of the day. Offensively, a lot of big plays.
And that was on a 4th down play. I believe that was 4th down. So the Bison pick up the ball and get it right back. And it didn't take long to score again.
Watson, nice ball from Lance. Another big play in the passing game. And then Dimitri Williams following some blocks, running through some tackles, 10 yards for his first touchdown of the day.
Yeah, Dimitri scored a couple of times. Here's Trey Lance putting the ball up in the air. No, he's not. He's going to pull it, show his athleticism once again. And we know you can't arm tackle and bring that guy down. He gets into the end zone on the quarterback run. And Jimmy Kaporis here makes a nice little adjustment while Trey Lance is scrambling, sits down in a zone, finds the open spot. His quarterback hits him, and NDSU continues to move the ball.
He's really worked himself into that slot position. A little miscue here on the hold snap. So that field goal attempt did not work out. And then here goes Babbage, and watch the big man run at 6'6", 253.
And this is the longest play from scrimmage this year for NDSU in game number 10. Number 81 takes it further than his number.
He's only a sophomore too. That's scary. Sampson throwing. Josh Hayes right in the right place at the right time. Takes it back to the 23. And North Dakota State would go on for a big halftime lead of 27-0. Let's take a look at your final stats report, sponsored by the North Dakota Certified Seed Producers. And yeah, a lot of big numbers on the right side of that screen.
Yeah, that equals the big numbers on the scoreboard as well. 688 total yards. NDSU's offense just continues to churn it out. The Bison coming in averaging, 288 on the ground, so they go more than that. Rushing, top 4 in the country. And you know, just we mentioned, because with Trey, didn't have to throw it a lot, but once again, he's been so efficient all year long, and he was again today.
We will step aside, take a break, and be back with more. So look at your second half highlights and also look around the Missouri Valley. Some surprising scores across the FCS. We'll get to those on the other side of this break. (57-21), North Dakota State rolls offensively to the tune of 688 total yards today. Christian Watson, another big day through the air. The sophomore receiver continues to make big plays in the passing game. 4 receptions, 129 yards, and a score. He's the Nodak Insurance Company player of the game, and he is standing by with Ryan Geller, field side.
Yeah, guys, his score made it 33-0. Big game for you. 4 catches, over 120 yards. Feeling it right now, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's definitely really exciting.
Talk about Trey. He is putting the ball all over the place. A lot of different receivers getting the chance to make a play. Must be fun to play in this offense.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. I mean, it's just good to have the whole offense click as a whole. Like in practice, you know, we spread the ball out, around a lot, so you know we just expect that kind of stuff in the game. But yeah, it's definitely good to see a bunch of different faces touching the ball during the game.
Take us through your big play. I think it was a 55-yarder down the sideline. Take us through it.
I mean, it's just a basic, you know, hitch route. So, you know, I caught it. Coach Pauly stresses all the time in practice, you know, turn outside and use the stiff arm. So as soon as I turned out, I put the stiff arm out, and he kind of dove at me, so I kind of got him a little bit with the stiff arm. But I mean, just happened to slip through and just use my speed to kind of, you know, work the sideline, and you know, I made it.
The touchdown before you was Josh Babbage running down the field. I think it was 88 yards, speed, power. Talk about that big tight end running down the field. What did you see on that?
I mean, it was crazy because, I mean, I was trying to catch him down the field and I couldn't even get to him. I was definitely surprised by his speed, but, you know, I'm also not surprised at the same time. And I know we got a lot of great guys in that tight end room. And, you know, I think they got a lot of talent all the way around. And, you know, I'm proud of my boy Babbo.
We better include the running backs in this as well. They ran it today. Even a young guy gets 2 carries, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Jalen Bussey, you know, he's from where I'm from, so you know we were having a little fun with that. A little Florida guys getting their action in. But you know, I'm proud of Bussey. I'm proud of Dimitri Williams. You know, he was really going out there and doing his thing. And yeah, I think the running backs were getting after it today.
Bottom line, undefeated, down the stretch run. You've put yourselves in a pretty good position.
Yeah, no, we definitely have. You know, we work every day, and the coaches always stress, you know, let's go 1-0 this week. And I think, you know, we've really put that emphasis on that this year. Just, you know, taking it week by week. And I think, you know, we've executed every week as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, back upstairs.
Thanks so much, Ryan. Yeah, Christian Watson continues to make big plays in the passing game, as we'll take a look at your scores from around the Missouri Valley. And we did have an upset earlier today. Illinois State on the road, going down to Brookings and picking up a big win, really controlling that second half after trailing 18-11. Got a couple of big turnovers in that game.
That throws the Redbirds right back into the playoff talk, and South Dakota State has UNI coming up.
And Southern Illinois, another win. So the Salukis continuing to keep their postseason hopes alive as well at 6-4. Youngstown State, I don't know what's going on. The wheels may have fallen off for Bo Pelini's bunch. They go down in Vermillion today, 56-21. And Northern Iowa, one of the seeds right now, and a chance to maybe move up and leapfrog South Dakota State, leading by 11 over Indiana State. For us next week, we're back here, the Senior Day against South Dakota. The Coyotes racking up 56 points today.
Who just scored 56 points, and the Coyotes were in the tight game with Western the week before that. But all those W's for NDSU, that's 10 of them with 2 to go before we'll see how things wrap up at the end of the regular season. But I tell you, this team that was so young and inexperienced at the beginning of the year is looking like a veteran bunch right now, except for those penalties.
Getting better and better as the season goes along. But yeah, the penalty issue is something I know Matt Entz is going to stress on here. Certainly this week, after a clean game last week, not so clean this week in that department, but it's a 57-21 victory as North Dakota State improves to 10-0, number 1 in the nation, 31 straight wins overall. Thanks so much for joining us all throughout the KVLY KFYR Bison Television Network. We'll see you next Saturday on Senior Day here, pregame 1:30, kickoff 2 o'clock. All across the great state of North Dakota, 2:30, all across the great state of North Dakota. For Lee Timmerman, Beth Hool, Alex Egan, Kyle Emanuel, and our entire crew, I'm Brian Shawn, saying so long from the Fargo Dome. We'll see you next Saturday.